Luke reminds us of the inevitable standing before our Maker. And we heard the letter of St. Paul to the Thessalonians, to grieve, but don't grieve as those who have no hope. And do you know how many times that text was read here at Annunciation last year? Not just twice on the 2 Saturdays of Souls, but add 26 more times, because there were 26 funerals last year. Good news being, there were almost 30 baptisms. God is definitely always providing for his church. But regardless of which side of death we are standing in, grieve, but grieve like those who don't grieve like those who have no hope. That's why you bring the koliva. That's why you maintain this beautiful tradition of remembering the dead and reminding ourselves of the seamlessness of God's love for us. Nothing can separate us from the love of God. Nothing can separate us from the love of those who have gone before us. So we continue to work out together our salvation. We must listen carefully to the Lord's words. Do not be terrified. Do not be upset. Do not be shaken when we hear of wars. And now, of course, not just hearing of wars, but experiencing a war now in Russia and Ukraine. But these things must happen, but it's not the end. It is up to us in this time of the church, this time before his return, to grieve, but always having hope. So we of all people have joy in even facing death. We have peace when we face our final days. We have anticipation. But now is the time to prepare. Now is the time to orient ourselves to the love of God and to be ready to stand before him, because there will be definitely a reckoning. Don't worry about the wars. Don't worry about the distractions of this life. These things are bound to happen, but they will all pass away. Everything you see will pass away, but be renewed. And so the reason you bring the koliva, the reason you bring the wheat, is to remind ourselves of the nature of God's creation. These kernels will go into the ground, and that's how we experience new life. That's the significance of the koliva, the wheat. Unless it goes into the ground, it will not come to life. And so we are to prepare. We are to prepare our souls and hearts to stand before our Lord. And tomorrow we'll hear of the last judgment. We'll hear of the need to respond to the needs of those less fortunate. This too will be counted, if you will, in terms of our worthiness to stand as we stand before Christ. But grieve with hope. Grieve with joy. Grieve with karamolipi. That is what the fast is all about. That is why we take these steps to prepare for the great fast, because we are to be filled with sorrow for what is going on now in Russia and Ukraine, but joy, knowing that everything will be overcome in the final day. So as we lay to rest the memories of our beloved, we lift up their memories. We offer them as anamnesis, as something that there will be sweet fragrance to in God's memory, because he will never forget. He will embrace every soul that has ever come into existence, and he loves them, and he will receive them, and he will comfort them and comfort us as we prepare to stand before him and stand before him worthily. May his name be glorified now and forever, into the ages of ages.